Good evening, Miguel. How are you today? Or good afternoon,
Uh,
rather. In Qatar, it's good
oh,
afternoon. In the Philippines,
okay.
it will be good evening.
Well, in your case, good afternoon. And
Mm,
um, I'm doing fine, and thank you for having me once again.
okay. We're actually interested about your hobbies. What are the things that you do during your free time? Please tell us about your hobbies. What do you do during your free time?
Well, my hobbies, well, currently they mostly involve writing, and yeah, it's mostly writing.
Mm,
But occasionally, I do train my voice for
mm,
speaking. I
for
like to
speaking.
record. Yeah, I like to record uh videos about stuff I like. It's just mostly about video games, not just video games, because when people say video games, they just think about the playing part, you know. But I think me personally, having played a lot of them and having grown up with most of them, as a let's say a Gen Z, just think that there's a lot of things to appreciate in these video games because I feel like they're mostly neglected, but I feel like their artistic expression, in terms of
Mm,
you know, uh, visual, like the typical, could be pictures or graphics like that, and animation. There's also
yeah.
the story aspect of these kinds of this medium. It's relatively young medium. It's only been
Mm,
around since the 20th century. You know, uh, yeah, that's the kind of stuff I like to record about. But
yeah.
but before those, I when I was young, I used to like I was a very uh I'm not sure if I said it right, but I'm a very avid drawer.
What do you usually draw? Okay, wait.
Uh,
Before we talk about your drawing, I'd like to
yes.
go back to your talent that is video designing. Can we say it video designing or
Mm,
creating videos, creating characters in videos?
Now what I actually do is I just talk over video. So I
Ah,
think I'll
okay.
just be I don't really create anything original other than what I'm
So
thinking.
what you do is you get clips and then put them together in a video, and then you put your voice into it,
I talk
like a
over them, but
storytelling.
uh I'll just clarify what I really do so that
Mm.
you really understand. The essence is uh I just talk about things I appreciate. That's it. The things I've been making currently are mostly documentaries. So yeah, I don't
Okay.
know what you call a person who makes a documentary called, especially in the
Mm.
form of online videos, but that's what I do.
Have you made a lot of documentary videos, the
Uh,
video
yeah,
games and stuff?
yes, yes. I have made a lot, but I feel like I have a lot to learn about it.
Mm.
But right now, I'm quite content about how I make them, in the format. But
Mm.
I'm also aware of what I need to improve on. So yeah, I I may have made a lot, but I
Mm.
think I still have a long way to go. But at the same time, I've also done a lot.
Mm. Do you find it easy to do, or it's easy and time consuming?
I think the most difficult part is uh recording. The most difficult part of what I do. I think the whole process is quite easy. I just have to. I feel like it could just boil down to just sitting in front of a microphone and a computer.
Mm.
But there's still a bit of effort to be put into it, and that's the recording because I feel like I have a lot learn about recording. Whenever I listen to my voice there, I feel like I did a mistake here.
Mm,
And
okay.
sometimes I speak a bit too fast, so I end up accidentally mispronouncing the words.
Mm,
Or maybe I read I read along too fast, so I'm ready far ahead of the script, and I'm saying something different. So I guess that's one of the most difficult parts. The rest I think is quite easy, but it's time consuming
mm,
because frankly it's a bit tedious. It's time consuming because, well, I have to get clips from the internet and I have to download them one by one. And sometimes I have to choose which one looks good and what suits with what I'm currently saying. It has to go along. The viewer, they may be listening, but I feel like, from my experience, when I watch videos like these, I have to feel like there has to be something going on in the screen to follow along what they're saying. Like, they're describing something, they might show a picture of what they're saying. So I have to include that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's easy to do. The internet has everything you need. But it's just you have to do it over and over. It's tedious, like time consuming, like I said.
mm. Time
Like
consuming.
you're talking about many things, so you have to, you know, get many clips or pictures to correspond with those.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's the most difficult part. It's relatively difficult. But I just think that no, that's not the most difficult part actually. It's just the most time consuming. But yet it's still easy.
Have a compilation of videos.
No, I haven't properly compiled them, but I know I've made already maybe a dozen of those
Oh,
videos, those kinds.
oh,
So
I
yeah,
see.
that's how much I've made.
What category of literature is that? It's narrative, right? Like it's a story, like storytelling. It's narrative. Is
Yep.
it narrative or really documentary, as you said?
Depends. Can be a mix of both. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes my documentary style videos will I have to explain a story, so I have to put the story in it and it will become narrative, at least in that
Yeah.
part.
Yes.
So yeah, can be both.
Have you shared your writing skill your with your college? I mean, through a paper, university paper or college paper?
Well, college it's replete, it's full of writing tasks. So
Mm.
yes, with how often I do it, I think yeah, I always have to do it. So yes, share. I do share my skill.
Anyway,
I've
aside
never
from writing and video editing, what else? What are other skills and hobbies do you have?
well before was mostly writing and making videos, like I said.
Yeah.
Uh, I used to draw a lot actually. Games.
Digitally or on paper?
Well, I never bothered to learn digital drawing, so I
Mm.
always draw on paper.
Okay.
Mostly, line art. You just need to use a pencil and then draw. That's it.
Mm. What are the subjects of the ones that you are
I
drawing?
was when I was a kid, I used to uh when I was very young, I used to like drawing animals and
Mm.
dinosaurs, and eventually through it really developed my skills today. Like I'm self-taught, so all I did was I traced drawings, not
Mm.
by like putting a paper over them, but I just had to look at it, and then I just copy it on the
Okay,
paper
that
I'm drawing.
yeah.
When I was when I was a kid, I used to uh, and like I said, I like drawing animals and dinosaurs. But over time, keep changing interests. when I got a bit older, around the maybe grade school
Mm.
and in junior high school, I liked drawing these military stuff, you know, mostly mostly weapons
Mm.
and gear like that, you know. But then as I grew, I without even noticing, I phased out of drawing and I went into writing, which was
Okay.
around I think it was around the pandemic or before the pandemic, maybe in
Oh.
senior high school when I started writing more than drawing. It's
Have you
my
tried
previous
painting?
hobby.
Have you tried painting? Like on canvas, like this?
Mm, well, yeah, but I do it very rarely. I don't even remember the last time I painted something. So
Okay.
yeah, I have tried painting, but I've not. It's very. It's not even occasionally.
Mm. Very
I've
rare.
not done it.
Mm.
Not rare because I feel like that would imply it has a chance of happening in the future. But now I'm not even into painting. I'm more of writing. I enjoy it.
In the future, you'd like to be a writer full time, or this will just be your like at the side?
Yeah, it would definitely be at the side
Mm.
unless I find a very good opportunity where I think being
Yeah.
a writer would be better than being in the business field. Because actually a writer can be a high paying job, like the famous writers like George R. R. Martin who wrote Game of Thrones and
Yes.
who wrote the author who wrote Harry Potter. Well, I think it
Yep.
was
J.K. Rowling.
yeah, yeah. She makes a lot of money out of those books. So much, in fact, that they're not even books anymore. They She makes even money from the movie
Movies.
adaptations. Yeah, even the games and other spin-offs of her franchise.
But then if you notice, these very successful writers are like one in a million or like that. Like a very
Yeah,
few who succeed.
yeah.
A lot of people want to be writers like that. But actually only few succeeds. And if they do succeed, actually it's good if there are a lot of opportunities, or if there are a lot of people who will support their craft, their product, or their writing, like a novel like this. But in the case of J.K. Rowling, actually, I've read her biography or autobiography. Actually, she started writing Harry Potter, the first book, and it lasted 7 years. Okay, when after she
Mhm,
finished that one, a lot of rejections. There were a lot of rejections before one publisher, children's publishing company like this, accepted
mhm.
her book. And then from then on, it just spiraled and spiraled. So
Yes.
it's like a twist of luck, something like that. And a very interesting fact about Harry Potter books is that all of the seven books start with this train scene, a scene in a subway or train
Mhm,
like that. It's because, actually, trivia, it's because J.K. Rowling was able to conceptualize the story about Harry Potter while she was riding on a train.
mhm.
Quite
That's
interesting. That's
interesting.
she shared that
Yeah.
one. She shared that one in her autobiography. She wrote something about Harry Potter, how she made it.
Yeah. I agree about that what you said. And that last bit you said was interesting. But the parallel between her life and the story. So there's clearly art imitates life and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, the point is, I do agree with these artists being. I feel like calling them lucky would discredit all the work they did.
Yes.
But honestly,
Mm.
sometimes I think not even writers understand what truly made their work such a large cultural phenomenon. It's like
Mm.
there's, art touches us in different ways, and
Yes.
sometimes the writer may not get that. Like people will have their own interpretation and of a story, and it might just it might just so happens that that interpretation is what made it
Mm.
liked
Get
by
it
people. But the point
exactly.
is, um, there's just definitely something that makes these stories so popular. There's something that is attractive to them with so many people,
Mm.
and it's it's actually crazy to think that these writers they actually did not plan this
Yes.
for over
Exactly. Yes. Correct.
like they have not this big plan over like a big over a long course of years. Like I've heard in an interview that this was for a game series. I think it's called what was it? Five Nights at Freddy's.
Mm.
The writer Scott Cotton, he said that when he was asked about how how much work did he do with the a fan asked him how much planning did he do with the large deep lore and story. There's always
Mm.
something to discover besides the text. There's like some yeah, there's deep lore. And much to much to the interviewer and perhaps the audience surprise, um the writer or the creator of the series said that he never planned any of that. Like his series has grown so much in the story. There's like many installments now, but he said that he never planned any of this from the beginning. He just made something new. So so yeah, it's quite impressive that they make such a huge story, a huge story that gathers a huge following that in turn creates a huge story of their own, like a fan made story. And it's all because well, it turns out they did not plan any of this. It's more like they did not plan for it in the long term.
Mm.
Maybe they just planned of what's gonna happen like now in a few years, but they didn't think that it would grow that large. They were just doing their thing until many people liked it. So yeah, um, so yeah, that's what's impressive about these writers.
Do you do some public speaking in school, in your university now?
No, not currently. I'm not a public speaker. Uh, Actually, I feel like my my public speaking skill has gone down a bit. You know,
Mm.
I feel like I think I used to be able to. I think I used to be able to, speak in front of a large crowd,
Mm.
but now I feel like I can't do it anymore. Not that I'm shy or anything, but I feel like my actual speaking ability, I don't think I'd be afraid if I went in front of everyone. But it's a different story once my mouth opens. Uh it feels like I've lessened in quality. And I guess it's mainly because I haven't cultivated it. I
Mm.
focused on other parts. So yeah, I haven't been doing any public speaking lately.
You know what? You should also cultivate, as you said, you should also cultivate that one. Try to engage in public debates, in school debates like this, because you have a lot of ideas. And if you will not share these ideas, it will be futile, and it will be useless. So if For example, there are opportunities that will come to you that you can share your ideas to the public through public speaking. In that way, do not shy away from it. Then probably you will also develop this specific skill of yours.
No, now that now that what you said kind of made me remember. I'm actually I think the reason why my talent public speaking got done is because I'm actually more I'm actually more skilled in English than my own tongue, Tagalog. You know,
Mm,
actually, yeah, that's why. And in my time here in the Philippines, I have to learn my tongue again. Because I'm so used to speaking English back in Qatar. But now I think I'm still good in English. But I definitely have lost something when I went here,
mm,
especially in public speaking. So yeah, maybe that's why I'm not as good. And my English public speaking isn't going to translate well into in here in the Philippines because uh it's I have to speak Tagalog, and
mm.
the use of English there is kind of embarrassing. So
Okay. Have you experienced something like that? Oh, he's speaking in English. He's like conyo or something. I mean,
uh
not really, like somehow a little bit of discrimination on your part. Like, why is he speaking in English? Why can't he talk in Tagalog or
no, I don't think I have. In fact, I don't remember.
something?
It's because I always try to speak in Tagalog. You know, I
Mm,
even have I even have the accent. I'm lucky that I at least try to learn it back in Qatar.
mm-hmm.
So while I don't feel confident in speaking it, at least I still know how.
Yes,
I just don't feel as yeah yeah
conversational
conversational.
Tagalog.
Yeah. But what makes it hard, here in the Philippines is my generation's slang.
Mm.
I feel a bit left out if they say that, then I have to ask like, what does that mean? You know,
Mhm.
or sometimes I don't ask at all because it's embarrassing.
And
I speak the same way in English. I don't use slang. You know, I'm very formal.
mm,
At least I try to be formal. I never use slang. It's like if I use it, I feel a bit embarrassed at myself
mm,
for using slang because I sound you know it
upward.
doesn't sound right when I say it. So
Okay.
yeah, I just refrain from that, and that's what makes it difficult here in the Philippines that I don't catch up with my peers.
Since you also know how to speak in Tagalog, then I mean, inside the classroom and inside formal setting, then you need to speak English as well, isn't it? I mean, we Filipinos, we are bilingual. We do have two languages. We
Yes,
already accepted that English is our second language. So we
hmm
accepted that. In fact,
yes,
some people are more like you. Some people are more adept in speaking the English language rather than the Tagalog language.
yes.
So that's why. How did you develop your writing skills?
It's quite hard to tell, but it feels like it came naturally because I
Mm.
started writing at a young age about, well, you guessed it, video games.
Mm.
I'm kind of I consider myself as an intellectual, you know, or at least someone who likes to use his
Mm.
brain a lot,
Okay.
especially when it comes to creative stuff. But I'm also into like the nuanced stuff. I can understand that kind of stuff. So it it came. I feel like it came to me. This writing skill came to me just by observing other people's writing,
Mm.
especially from video games. I noticed how people talk, how people yeah, it's mostly people talking. And I managed to copy that myself. You know, But that itself wasn't enough. So over time, I started learning new words, expanding my vocabulary when it comes to writing and finding new writing styles. It's something that's acquired. It's an acquired skill, my writing skill. I uh I can notice the way people write. I can tell like, oh, I know this is the style of one particular writer. And because I can recognize these, like a pattern, I can recognize the unique writing style they have.
Mm.
Um, I I end up copying it, you know.
You do
Yeah,
have your own style, not just copying them.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not word for word,
Maybe just
There's
modeling them, but you do have your own style.
yeah, modeling them. Like I noticed the way they use words, so I try to copy that,
Mhm.
You can't just, copy paste the word itself,
Yes, yes, yes.
word by word, but the way there's a deeper level and I understand it on a deeper level, and that keeps me from just copying it one to
Mm.
one, you know. So I end up making my own variation
Oh, that
based
is
on
good.
how I see their way of writing. Maybe say for example, um, there's a game I play or I used to play, called Dota 2. I'm sure I'm sure
Okay.
you know that
Yes, sir.
just from right from you know it's popular in the Philippines.
Mm-mm.
And I noticed the way they write, they use do you know Old English? Yeah.
Archaic English, yeah.
Yeah. It's you can see it in the Bible too, but they also use that kind.
Mm.
And anyways, like they use this
Like William
thy,
Shakespeare's English.
yeah, like there's a thy, thou, thee,
Yes.
like that.
The,
And then
thou,
there's when you like when
her
you
in, like those.
yeah, like that. And there's not just words, there's like phrases, like many a writer like that. The way they write, it's
Mm.
not like modern English.
Yes.
It
It's
sounds different. That's what I can say. And it's not just that I try to copy. There's now in writing, especially in fantasy, um, when they write a character, they express the character's personality in it
mm,
through their lines. So I try to copy that or emulate it. Because
emulated
yeah, so that's how I think I developed my writing skill.
writing skills. So how will you be able to apply these skills in the future? Or right now, at the present, how are you applying these skills?
Well, besides the obvious choice being an actual writer,
Mm,
as in like fiction writer, or maybe a writer of nonfiction, just anything that's not academic or business related. But when it comes to business, I can see myself using this writing skill in terms of advertising. You know, choice of words is very important in advertising, and uh, and mm, maybe writing reports.
mm,
And when I was writing, I used to be very some point in my life, uh, just a few years ago. You know, my style of writing when I was influenced by Dota 2's writing. I was very I used these old English words too much to the point that when I reflected on this kind of writing, it felt like I did not get the the message across clearly. You know, it became a bit too muddled in words that are hard to understand, and I thought I
mm,
should make this a bit more brief, but nice to read, and still has a kind of style to it. So I changed that, and
mm.
just want to add on how how I cultivated. I cultivate all of my skills through reflection. I look back at what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Then but reflection is only effective if you learn something new, because reflection is like basically comparing.
Yes.
So by reflecting with new knowledge in mind, you can see the difference, you know. And yeah, and that aside, um, besides being a writer or using writing in advertising, um, uh, well, I think that's it. But I mean, writing is a very crucial
Mm-hmm.
skill in almost any job that isn't that's not pure physical, not purely
Yes.
labor based.
Do you plan to write short stories or novels in the future?
I'd like to try it someday, but I'm focused on nonfiction.
Now let's proceed to your video editing skills. I'm actually more curious on that. So
Mm.
how were you able to develop that, or when did you start noticing that you have a skill in video editing?
Well, as a no as a as a Gen Z, we're naturally technology oriented.
Curious,
So
techie savvy.
yeah, yeah. So it comes uh it's easier for us to understand how to use technology. Yeah, even though we weren't the generation who no, especially digital technology. We may not be the generation that pioneered it, but we have a we have a natural skill for it because we grew up around it. But back to my skill in video making. I started off by getting familiar with my software, the one that's crucial in making videos. It just it only takes a few videos to how to like step by step or how to videos to get used to what application you're going to use. But then I was very lucky to have a very an application that has lots of features that you can do many things. There's little limits to the editing you can do. I was very
Mhm.
lucky to have that because my brother downloaded it for me. I mean,
What's the
he
name
didn't
of the
really
software?
technically. Well, technically, he didn't download it for me. He just left it there in his and I didn't use it ever since. And I just picked it up. And
Okay.
the software in question is uh, Adobe Premiere Pro. It's basically
Ah, okay.
um,
Mm.
it's a video making software, and
I've heard of it. Yes. Okay.
yeah, but it's not free, because it's an
Mm,
Adobe product. It's
yeah.
expensive.
Do you plan on developing your video editing skills more? Like in the future, probably you'll create more and more videos. You can actually make, for example, a YouTube channel or whatever.
Well, as a very popular medium of transmitting, you know,
Exactly.
ideas. Yes, I will continue. And
Mm,
in fact, I just think it's the most effective one. It's
mm,
effective method, in my opinion, especially in the age of technology and of the internet, where things spread so easily. So yeah, I will, I will, I will definitely cultivate this skill.
Let's proceed to your drawing skill. I am
Well,
assuming that you started drawing when you were still very young, I guess, and then you
yeah,
just pick up from there. Is it
yeah.
specifically just sketching, or you're using some other materials?
I always use pencil. I'm
Mm,
not skilled in pen, especially the marker pens. I don't
okay.
know how to use those, and I'm not the colorist. I'm not good at that.
Mm,
So I just draw. I just maybe sketch. But yeah. drawing and sketching. That's what I do. And as for how I developed it, big part is actually developing it over time. You know, you may be born with a talent, but you still have to use it, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So you're
So
just
yeah,
drawing because you want to, or you're out of hobby, or with a purpose? Like,
well, I mostly do it for myself, but I don't mind other people
mm,
seeing my work. Like sometimes people just randomly stumble into what I'm doing and they just look, and I'm okay with that. But
okay,
yeah, for the most part, I do it just as a hobby, you know, to indulge myself.
okay. So for what have you drawn?
So far, I've not drawn much in senior in my college years. I haven't drawn much except for you know in school activities, and even then, I only remember one time that I've drawn upon my that artistic skill.
Mm,
But well, you know, like I said before, um, I started with animals and dinosaurs as a kid. When I drew animals and dinosaurs, I had an eye for detail. You know, I'd always get I was always get one feature of an animal correct. Otherwise, in my eyes, it would look you know incomplete or ugly like that. And over time, when my interests start to change as I grew up, it went into like this military stuff.
mm,
Like this from shooter games and whatnot.
mm.
I think that was the actually I think I drew everyday objects as well. You know, like it can even be something as simple as a fruit, like a single
Yeah,
fruit.
it is good because it's a part of still life. They know the type
Yeah.
of painting or drawing still life, still
Mm-hmm.
objects like this.
Like even let's say like a fruit or even a
Mm.
bottle. Like
Yeah,
I just learned to draw
jar like
shapes
this
like that.
vase.
That's when I start, as you can see, when I grew up, I started to draw more mundane objects.
Mm.
But it's also I finally started drawing people. You know, I
Mm.
studied not study as in like academic, I just search human anatomy, like the shape of the body, you know.
Mm.
It's when I started drawing human shapes particular. And uh I wish I had it now, but I don't
Yes, I'd like to see also
I had a portrait
actually.
of a of a person I tried to draw. It was actually
Oh,
very recent in college.
okay. Maybe next time we can show some of
Mm,
your
yeah.
finished products.
I'd
Okay.
really like to show it.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
good. How about your public speaking skills?
Well, it's something I haven't done in a long time. So it's very hard to remember. But maybe I would attribute that skill to my um to my the way my skill in English, speaking
Mm.
English, and at the same time the confidence I had with it, because I know I'm good at that. So yeah, I guess I'm sorry if it's a bit short. You know, I guess all I can say about the my public speaking is that it only came to be. I only acquired it because I'm good at speaking English,
That's one of
and
the
I
reasons.
I think I think back then I feel like my voice was better. Like compared to now, I feel like something as something about my voice is not suitable for speaking anymore. But I know this because when I tried to do that in a presentation, uh, the fellow students told me to be a bit louder. and I was already speaking louder, so I don't know what was wrong. And then that's when I thought, okay, I think something is uh I think this has been it's been a long time already. I noticed I don't
Mm.
speak like I used to.
Public
That's okay.
speaking, it's just like any other skill that you need to develop. So skills are skills. Skills can be developed and should be developed. It's not like talent that you are born into it. So writing skills, public speaking skills, uh, even sketching skills, although it takes a bit of a talent for sketching, drawing, being artistic, but still, we can develop it by continuously practicing, doing it, continually doing it. I do believe in developing the skills because if you do have the skills and yet you don't appreciate it, you don't use it, then it will not be developed and it will be gone, it will be useless somehow. But so, develop all the skills that you have. I think you still have enough time. And as to your speaking skills, it's not, you said it's because of your voice. It can be attributed, you said that you can attribute it to your voice, but actually it's not just about the voice. It's more on about the ideas that would come out of your mouth whenever you speak. So aside from the voice is easy to maintain, maybe avoid drinking cold water, avoid drinking soda like that. It will affect your voice. But more importantly is whenever you are given an idea to talk about and you can explain it very thoroughly and very clearly, elaborately. Yeah, that is more important rather than just having a good voice. And I believe that you have both. You have both good voice and you have a lot of ideas to share.
Yes.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, it's true that I always have a good idea. I'm aware of that, but translating this into uh, public speaking is kind of a bit hard now. I mean, maybe it's just easy if I just record. You know, I'm good with the recording
Mm.
speech, especially coming up with one.
Out of these four skills that you have, like writing skills, video editing skills, drawing skills, yeah, and public speaking skill, which among these skills you are more engaged into?
Um, so far writing, because
Mm.
for me writing is like the first medium that the thoughts, the ideas of my mind pass through.
Mhm.
Whenever I come up with an idea, the first thing I do is write it. So yeah, I always enjoy writing because I feel like it's the most accurate way to uh to convey my thoughts, you know, without leaving out any details. So yeah, I enjoy writing because I'm I've done it so much, and I never get tired of it, and I understand I uh I understand how great it is to write. So yeah,
Yes.
and it's not to mention it's a very versatile skill. Compared to drawing. Drawing will only find use in several areas,
Yeah.
like especially in the arts and maybe graphic design. That's
Mm.
an important job, but unfortunately it's limited as opposed to writing. Many jobs need writing.
Yes.
So yeah, I enjoy writing because I understand the value of it, and at the same time I enjoy it.
And in fact, you can also find writing jobs online.
Yes, it's it's full of opportunities
Mm.
compared to what I'm doing, to the three other skills I mentioned.
Yes. Okay, so I guess thank you very much, Miguel, for sharing with us about your talents, your skills, and probably by next by the next time that we are going to have a talk with you again. So if you can show us your drawings, that would be better, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess maybe an inspirational message will do. You know,
Yes.
well, maybe I guess my message is that if you have a if you have a skill, try to understand the most out of it. Try to, and what I mean the most out of it is what you can get from it and how it affects you. What kind of opportunities it opens up for you because
Mm.
to help you value that kind of skill because skills are they're lost very easily, you know, and
Yeah.
uh, and in the day of technology where there's stuff like AI, they're already doing writing jobs now, like
Yes.
Chat GPT and that stuff.
Mm.
I'm honestly kind of aversive to
I
AI that
understand.
generates
Yes.
that kind of
Mm.
content. I don't like, you know, but yeah, in these modern ages, it's important to appreciate your talent because
Yes. Value your talents and skills
yes,
and
not
develop them. Mm.
yeah, as as we progress, as humanity progresses in technology, advances, everything,
Mm.
um, advancements, there's more and more reason for our skills to be gone, you
Yeah.
know, or at least maybe not gone, like less,
Diminish.
yeah, diminished.
Mm.
So yeah, value your skills. Another thing I want, expanding on what I meant about value your skills, is that your skills can actually serve you. It's not just something that you do as a hobby, you know, because I've seen people who people uh they're little, they have something they enjoy doing, and it turned out to be very useful to them.
Yeah.
It's not just stuff like drawing and writing. Like people usually associate those with hobbies.
Mm.
Skills include like um, deductive reasoning. You know, people like uh, people like finding things out
Yes.
without not too much knowledge, and that ends up being a very good uh, conduit for them to join the police. They become detectives
Yes.
or a private
Yes.
detective,
Mm.
or maybe even you know investigator like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, value your skills. That's all I have to say.
Mm. Okay. So thank you very much, Miguel, for your
Yeah.
time. We really appreciate it. And see you next time. Too soon.
Yes. See you next time.
Okay.